The question is, are you ready?
What do you guys want to talk about?
Let me talk to you.
Throwdown Nation, we are at episode 64 of the Throwdown with Matt. It is a Sunday night. We are live on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter/X, Facebook, and Twitch. And this is a special episode. Tonight, we're welcoming back someone who has been on the show previously. This guy is a Utah-based wrestler and also the owner and promoter of Dive Pro Wrestling, Trey Matthews. Trey recently took an extended journey to Davenport, Iowa to train at Black and Brave, the school co-owned by WWE legend Seth Rollins, who, as most of you know, was known in Ring of Honor and the Indies as Tyler Black, and Merrick Brave. This episode is primarily to let Trey tell his story. Any questions or comments, go ahead and throw them in the chat. And at the end, we'll do a short viewer Q&A session, and all questions and comments will be read and answered at the end. So what I'm going to do before we get started is Trey alerted me to a short little promo video for Black and Brave on Instagram that focuses on his class. So we're going to share my screen and play that real quick, and we will go from there. And we are back. So, Trey, I'll just kind of let you take it away at this point. Tell us your story.
Yeah, man. First and foremost, Matt, thank you so much for having me back on. I had a blast last time we did this, so excited to be back here and talk about how awesome Black and Brave is. First off, dude, that drive was crazy. So I decided to drive out there from Utah, mainly because I wanted to be able to be mobile and be able to travel a little bit while I was out there. So, I mean, from where I'm at in Utah, it's about an 18.5-hour drive. So
Wow.
that was exciting. But it was cool because on the way there, my dad actually tagged along with me and helped me drive out there.
Oh, that's cool.
It was a ton of fun. Me and my dad don't really get a lot of opportunities just to hang out, just me and him anymore. You know, I've married my mom, my sister, family stuff. So it was really cool having that opportunity to hang out and to spend time with my dad. Plus, we planned like some activities on the way. So we went and saw a Iowa Cubs play the Springfield Cardinals AAA baseball game, which was
that's cool.
Ton of fun. That where the Cubs play is beautiful. It's a beautiful minor league stadium. And then we also went and saw some like random stock car racing on the way up there. We just happened to stop in Nebraska, and there was some racing going on, so we stopped and did that. But yeah, it was driving up there was a great experience, being able to spend that much time with my dad, just me and him. So that was really fun. And then yeah, upon getting to Iowa, we I checked into the bunkhouse area where they have houses and rooms for the wrestlers to stay in while they're training there, which is so cool of them. It's definitely helps a lot on cost. Out of my pocket, and really being able to kind of bond with your classmates because you're seeing each other literally every single day. So it was really cool. Got there, got all situated. We had a couple days just kind of relax and get the lay of the land before we had our first day. But dude, that first day was freaking brutal.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I saw on another promotional video that I was mentioning before we went on the air. Yeah, they said that it's a tough training environment. So going, I guess, on the principle that iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, and it really is. That first day is designed to push you and test you to see where you're at mentally and physically, but it was mostly like mentally, like trying to get through some of those workouts that you get put through on that first day is a crazy mental challenge. So, but it was really cool, really hard. I was very lucky to have a really good class. I had a class that 8 of the 10 of us had prior wrestling experience. So that made it really nice as far as like learning things and doing things together. I had the most experience out of everybody, but it's just because I'm old. I'm just older. I'm just older than everybody else. I was the oldest one there. I think the next oldest one was 23. And the youngest person we had was 18 from the UK. So it was crazy I was like, I didn't feel old until I got there and was around all those younger kids. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? Like half the words they were saying, I couldn't understand. I'm like, hey, what is this? Explain to me, because if I'm going to be around all y'all, I need to know, like, what is all this?
Oh yeah, I mean, there are plenty of moments when I have to ask my son what in the world he's talking about. I mean, I'm 55 and dealing with a 15-year-old. Sometimes it's like a whole other planet. But so, before you go on with the story, how did the opportunity to do this come about? Were you contacted by them to come? Did you apply? How did that work out?
I applied. Yeah, I applied to go to Black and Brave. It's something I've been wanting to do. I just kind of was in the spot where I felt like I've kind of hit a peak as far as my wrestling skills go, and I felt going to get as good as I could possibly get staying in Utah and just doing my thing here.
Right.
So I applied there. I wanted to go there to, one, make myself better, but then 2, make the people that I train better, because now I'm coming from this experience and I can relate it and translate everything I do over to training other people. So it was, I just went to their website and you apply online. And sometimes I know the waiting list right now is crazy. I think they're backed up all the way to 2026.
Wow.
It's insane. But if you're looking to become a professional wrestler, or you're a wrestler who's looking to get a better experience and better training, I would highly recommend applying. Because what happened to me is I applied and I actually got messaged and asked if I could do the August through November class of 2023. So the year before I went. And I said, yeah, I can definitely do that. And then they had something fell through, or they had somebody else fill up that spot. And I got pushed to the August of 2024, which was actually a blessing in disguise for me, because then I found out I tore up my patella tendon and it was just a big old mess. So that would have been, this training would have been unbelievably hard with a torn patella tendon.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
It was hard enough as far as like the physical exercise and stuff like that goes, but it's all designed, everything's designed to make you better, to make you a better wrestler, a better person, to gain better workout habits. And they really take the time to sit there and teach you everything you need to know about like what kind of lifting you're doing and the CrossFit aspect of it. And the CrossFit coaches are awesome. They're great people. and really good coaches. So it was a really cool experience. We mandatory to do 3 CrossFit classes a week, Monday through Friday. So you got to pick 3 of those days to do CrossFit classes, and then you can always do more if you want to. But it's such a cool additional experience that's added on to just besides the wrestling training. Because now
Right.
you're getting free CrossFit memberships, and the gym's open whenever you want to use it as within the hours. So it's such a crazy, amazing experience just to walk in there. And the first thing you see when you walk through the doors is a 20 by 20 WWE ring. And then you look to the left of you and you see all of Seth and Becky's accomplishments with all the different title belts hanging on the wall. And you just all the different stuff there. And it's a little overwhelming when you first walk in.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, because there you are in the presence of greatness, basically. And
Exactly. Yeah, you're in the presence of Seth Rollins, who's one of the best of all time, in my opinion. And you got Becky Lynch, who's one of the best women's wrestlers of all time. So it's crazy. And then Merrick Braves there too, who knows so much about wrestling. Like
Mhm.
his knowledge on wrestling is crazy. But then even the assistant coach, Matt Mayday, is incredible. He's a guy that's been around the indie scene for a long time, wrestling all the same people that Seth and Merrick did coming up. And he's just an incredible, incredible mind for wrestling. And I learned a ton from him.
Gotcha. So, I know that he's on the road a lot, but how much time did you actually get to spend with Seth?
So it was actually pretty cool when we first got there. He was actually taking time off from the road. They
Mhm.
found the angle where Bronson Reed beat him up pretty good on Raw.
Yeah.
So there for about, I'd say, the first month or so, he was there almost every day that we were there.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
it was really cool. Like sometimes he wouldn't always make it in for like the beginning of class, but he'd always be there towards the end for the Q&A session or to answer any questions that you had with him. So it was really cool. Yeah, he was around quite a bit at first, and then once he came back to the on TV schedule and stuff, it kind of dwindled down a little bit of the times that we would see him. But he was also really good about zooming in when he could. So
Oh,
zooming
that's
in to catch matches or to give critiques or to go like we zoomed in one day for a whole psychology day where he just went over the psychology of wrestling and why you do this here and that there and everything like that. And it was really cool of him to take time out of his day to zoom in to help teach us that.
absolutely. So, during the course of things, did you have any opportunity to meet Becky or Rue, their daughter?
Yeah, definitely not the daughter. She never came to the gym or anything like that. But yeah, we did. Becky was always at the gym whenever Seth was, a lot of the times, and couldn't be a nicer person. Answered any questions that you had. Would same thing that Seth would do. Yeah, she was
Gotcha.
great. But yeah, it was a really cool experience, especially like being the most experienced and being able to learn, but still be able to teach while I'm there too, and like really help out my classmates with questions and stuff like that was awesome.
Right, right. I was going to ask, since you were already an experienced wrestler, would the training staff there um, take you aside and put you through like separate evolutions, or were you mostly still doing the stuff with the majority of the other trainees, in terms of, I guess, more basic stuff? Not that there's a thing in the world wrong with reviewing the basics, but I was just wondering, did they put you through some separate stuff as well?
Nope, I was just any other member of the class, which was great. It was really cool because they didn't know my experience level, so I was a lot of the times I was the example. I was the one.
Gotcha.
Me and the guy from the UK, his name's Callum Beck. He's awesome, great kid, especially for only being 18 years old. Really good. But we
I've,
were,
I've actually heard that name.
yeah, he's incredible. He's really and just a great human being too. But we would be the ones mostly doing the examples for people, showing them how to do this, showing them how to do that. So it's really cool. Yeah. And I loved being able just to go back and focus just on my basics. It was a really cool experience to be able to do that. Then you're learning a slightly different way to do your basics, or a slightly different way to apply this, or why it works better this way. And it was a really cool experience for me because I haven't gone back and just done basics for a long time in training. We're always working on evolving and making ourselves better. And what's the next cool thing, or what's the next evolution of things that we can do. So being able to go back to the complete day one of wrestling and relearning how to bump and how to put on a headlock and an arm wringer and all this stuff was such a cool little experience. Or like running the ropes different and the intensity of turning into them, and learning. The best thing I think about Black and Brave, one of the best things, is that you're learning pretty much what WWE is looking for. You're being
Right.
trained the way that they want you to be trained, what they're searching for in their methods.
Right, because I mean, as we were talking about before we went on the air, they've recently been named one of the ID schools. So I mean, that's a huge compliment to what they've got going there.
Yeah.
And the fact that they are training, to some extent anyway, within the WWE umbrella now, is pretty cool. I mean, I know the announcement got made, I guess, while you were there,
Yep.
probably. Um, were you or any of the others aware that announcement was coming, or it just kind of it came as much of a surprise to you as it did to everybody else, huh?
Yeah, literally I woke up the morning of that announcement. I just do what anybody does. I just logged onto my phone sleepily while I'm laying in bed. And I open up X, and the first thing I see is the list of schools that have been listed as a WWE ID program. And it's like Black and Brave. I'm like, oh, cool. I have no idea what any of this means, but that's really cool. And so it's kind of, yeah, we all kind of just went into it blind. And then Merrick kind of explained to us a little bit of what it was to the extent that he could.
Right.
Yeah, it was just, we were all kind of talking about like, hey, what does this mean? What does this mean for the school, for us going forward? Like everything. And yeah, it was pretty nifty to be there at the ground floor of a part of that a little bit.
No doubt, no doubt. So, at the end of the course, I'm presuming, since it seems like most schools do this, did the school put on any kind of a showcase show to let you guys demonstrate what you learned?
No, nothing, no kind of showcase in front of like fans or people like that. We would just mainly wrestle practice matches in front of Merrick and Matt and Colby when he could be there, when he could zoom in.
Right.
But yeah, it was just us in a warehouse wrestling each other, having these practice matches and learning from each other, learning from the coaches. That was a really cool experience. Just being able to kind of, it's a different mentality wrestling in front of nobody, and being able to still click into that mindset and put on a show. So it was cool to be able to learn how to really hone that in and how to really do that.
Right. You probably to some extent got the feeling of what it was like, when during the pandemic, when
Yeah.
they were wrestling to empty buildings.
Yeah, it's weird, man. You're sitting there firing up and you're getting all hyped up, and then there's like no noise, and you're like, okay, cool. I still got to remain hyped up and fired up and stuff like that. But my experience at Black and Brave was just incredible. I can't put into like words how much I think having a really good set of classmates benefited us, because I've heard stories about like classes not necessarily like meshing together or hanging out together, but that just wasn't my experience. My experience was we would hang out a ton. Every single day we'd be doing, even if we're just hanging out in the house, bull crapping around, just playing cards or playing drinking games, watching wrestling on the TV, anything like that. Like my class was really, really close to each other. So that was such a cool experience, being able to make friends that I'm going to have for life now from
Gotcha.
from being there. And just you get really close to these people, so it sucks like leaving. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, no doubt.
my two closest friends there live in London and Monterrey, Mexico. So being able, I don't know when I'm going to be able to see them again. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's crazy. And then I know a couple of them moved from their home states to Iowa to help keep pursuing this, which is really cool. I think that's a great thing to do if you can do that. But yeah, I can't express how lucky I was to have the class that I had, because I really think that really helped enhance my experience. Everybody was just so nice and so cool for the most part. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you're living with people for 3 months. You're going to have your little beefs and your little
Of
skirmishes,
course.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everything was really cool and it really, really a lot of fun. Another thing that was really cool about the Black and Brave experience is you're working indie shows. Like
Yeah.
you're not wrestling on the indie shows, but you're going back to the humble beginnings of setting up and taking down rings and setting
Mhm.
production and everything that you have to do with SCW, which is ran by Merrick Brave, which is an awesome little promotion out there. It's a really cool promotion. And I learned a lot from Merrick. Any chance I'd get to pick his brain about promoting and promotions, I would do it, because they've been around 20 plus years. So they're
Right.
obviously something right, you know? So any and every opportunity I'd get to ask him questions about running a promotion, I would take advantage of, which was great for me because I'm getting trained on the wrestling side, the promotion side, the business side. So it was really cool. I think I was able to kind of triple dip and have my hand in every pot. So it's a really cool opportunity for me to learn all that stuff. And I learned a ton about just the way he runs that promotion that helps makes it so successful.
Absolutely. And you were talking about your two best friends from the class, one being in London and one being in Mexico.
Yeah.
The beauty of life today, though, is with technology, keeping in touch is not as difficult as it used to be. I mean, look at us. I'm in
Yeah.
Georgia and you're in Idaho and we're having a conversation. So
Yeah, exactly. And we're in a group chat, so I've been able to stay in touch with them pretty much every day. I don't think we haven't talked at least a meme or a sentence or something, you know. Um, but yeah, as far as like, it's so technology is so cool that you can just go ahead and do that. I mean, luckily I run a promotion, so if I really want to see him, I can just bring him out here.
yeah, that too. That too. So what would you say if you could narrow it down to one thing? What is the most valuable thing you picked up from your time at Black and Brave?
I would say the way I think about wrestling is different now. The way I structure a match and put everything together and the reason why. Before I was kind of wrestling and I was just trying to, like, I had a story in mind I was trying to do, but mainly it'd be like, okay, and then we can put this cool move in here, and then we'll do something else, whatever. We'll put a cool move in here, and that'll send the crowd home happy. And now it's really the excuse me, it's really the story of the match and the build up to this cool move, because we can still do the cool moves, but it's the build and the story on top of that that's really going to take my wrestling and elevate it to the next level and hopefully get me a contract somewhere.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I mean, I know you just got back home and everything, but do you have any plans to go back for like a short period of time or anything like that? Do you have any plans to return to Davenport?
Yes, absolutely. I plan on returning. I think what I'll probably do is when I do go out there and visit, if I'm driving, I'll probably spend a month out there. The really cool thing about Black and Brave is once you graduate from the academy, you're welcome there for life.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
anytime I want to go back, I can go train, I can go use the gym, I can interact with any of the students or any of the graduates that are there. They have housing for the graduates short term that can stay there. So it's just a great little system they have worked out for themselves and for us, for all the graduates to be able to come back and be able to learn still and be able to do all this stuff while we're still out trying to hit the roads and hit the scenes, which was another cool.
Gotcha.
If the graduates, like, you were able to tag along with graduates of the academy to different shows. So
Oh, that's neat.
we went to St. Louis, we went to Chicago, Um, yeah, Kansas was great. We went to St. Louis and saw the Arch, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Busch Stadium. I'm a big St. Louis Cardinals fan, so it was really cool to be able just to go there and see the stadium, do the team store, stuff like that. We went over to Chicago, saw the Bean. That was my buddy Angel from Mexico. That was his biggest. That was like the one thing he wanted to do outside of Davenport is he wanted to go see the Bean. So we went and saw. It was super cool. We went to the Milwaukee Brewers Mets Game 3 playoff game.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, it was so cool. Watch Pete Alonso crush the Brewers' dream, which as a Cardinals fan, that made me very happy. But yeah, just being able to travel around with my buddies and being able to do all this while still learning and training was so cool.
Oh, yeah. What is your funniest story from your time there? Do you have a funny story to tell?
Man, I got a bunch of funny stories. I mean, every day was a funny story. You know, we just playing pranks in the house was
Right.
probably we're just little pranks in the house or at the gym was awesome. Dude, there was one night a bat got into the house randomly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, just a bat somehow appeared in the house, and like I'm sleeping in my bunk, and my bunkmate Drake comes over. He's like, "Hey, man, there's a bat in the house. We need to get it out." I'm just like, "Man, screw off. You know, there's not a bat in the house. Leave me alone. It's 2 a.m. I'm trying to sleep. I'm old. I'm older than all you guys. Just leave me alone for a minute." Then, yeah, another person told me, and a third person told me. So I get up, and I'm like, "Okay, funny joke. There's a bat in the house." No, there's literally a bat just chilling up on the stoop. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, I just grabbed a roll of toilet paper out of the bathroom and hucked it at it, hit it point blank. The bat flies off, lands on the floor. We scoop him up with a towel and let him go outside, nice and easy. But it's just,
well, that's good.
just one of the random things that happens there. You know what I mean? Just, and it was on Halloween, so it's like that was really a really weird little coincidence.
Oh, no doubt.
But I think the funniest thing we did, or the funniest prank we did, was Drake had a wedding to go to in California. So he flew away for the weekend. And at Black and Brave in the bunkhouse, it's bunk beds.
Okay.
So Drake had a top bunk, and so we took his bunk off the top bunk, and we got it down to the floor level. We went to Walmart and bought Christmas wrapping paper, Christmas lights and ornaments, and we 100% wrapped his whole entire bunk bed in Christmas paper. We wrapped his ladder to get up to the bunk in Christmas paper, the mattress, the pillows, anything we could possibly wrap that was his, we wrapped it. And then when he got home, it was just the big reveal of having all his crap wrapped up in Christmas paper after being tired from coming home from LA.
No doubt.
That was probably the best prank we did. Other than that, it was just little stupid pranks or little inside jokes driving around in the car, doing impersonations of people, being dumb.
So, so I know that Dive Pro Wrestling had a show recently on the 14th. How did the Black and Brave experience impact? What impact did it have on how you did the show?
It actually had quite a bit of impact because one of the best advice I got from Merrick is we were talking about how we structure wrestling shows. And he asked me how I did it. And so I kind of told him, like, I kind of try to let every match go out there and just have the best match they possibly can. And then he told me something that will stick with me forever. He said, if every match is a banger, then no match is a banger. If every match is great and awesome, then none of the matches are great and awesome because nothing
stands out.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it was we had a few shorter matches, a couple squash matches, and then we had a couple big longer matches, and it felt like the overall show felt a lot better, and I think it went over with the crowd a lot better.
That's really cool, and what a unique perspective that is. Yeah. You know, I hadn't really thought about it that way, but he is so right.
Yeah, that's how, like, once he said that, it was like a light bulb moment in my head. I'm like, holy crap, that's 100% right. Why didn't I ever? It's something so simple, but why didn't I think about that?
So I know you've got to be extremely, extremely grateful to your wife for keeping everything going back on the home front while you were off playing wrestler.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, it's been crazy grateful. I can't ever express how grateful I really am to her for being able to hold everything down while I did this, because I know it wasn't easy. I know it's
Right.
not, let your husband go away for 3 months and chase this dream and do whatever it is that I'm doing out there. And I know it wasn't easy for her to see me going to Chicago and St. Louis and Wisconsin, Minnesota, all these places, traveling with my buddies and traveling with my friends. But yeah, honestly, I would never have been able to go without her. Like
Right.
she helped me out so much to get the money to go, for one, because of my knee injury, and we had to save up hard to make it work. And yeah, I will forever be grateful for her for that. And it's been so weird for me to come back here and come back home, because like for 3 months you have, besides my wife, of course, my family, I have everything I want to do. All I have to do is focus on wrestling and working out and making myself a better person and making my wrestling better and working on getting bookings and stuff like that. And then coming back, and I have it's all the different responsibilities that you have with your normal life and your day-to-day life. And so it's been a weird adjustment for me to try to figure out how to get back to just having to be able to focus on wrestling, how to get a contract somewhere, how to get signed somewhere, so I can make this my full-time living.
Right. Right. But it's obvious that she loves you and she's very proud of you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Or she wouldn't have let you do all this. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely the case for sure. Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better support system between her and my parents and my sister. Really, they're amazing.
like you said earlier, that had to be so cool traveling out there with your dad.
Oh yeah, it was awesome. And then traveling all the way back, my wife flew out to Des Moines and drove
Oh,
all the way.
that's cool.
So it was cool. Yeah, I mean, we were trying to rush to get back for Thanksgiving, so we did with my dad. It was like a 3-day trip, But with her,
Mhm.
I drove the straight 18 and a half hours from Davenport all the way home.
Woo. That's long, dude.
It was a long drive, but it was cool, man. And then being able to, make it back in time to sleep, to enjoy sleeping in my bed, which has been it's the little transition things that you don't really think about when you get back. Getting used to like sleeping next to somebody again, or sleeping with
Right.
getting back on a normal sleep schedule, because in Iowa we're not going to bed till like 2 a.m. because we're just having fun and hanging out. And
Right. So, like I said, I know that you just had the show on the 14th, but do you have anything coming up that you'd like to give some hype to?
yeah, January. Oh man, why am I? Let me look at the date real quick. Hold on, I am blanking completely on the date. Where's the poster? Here it is. January 18th is our next one. Is the next dive
Okay.
show that I'm on. And that one's still in the South Weber. It's going to be an awesome show. Yeah, that one's going to be. We got some really cool stuff planned for that, like storyline wise and stuff like that. And if you're a fan of dive wrestling, I mean, just expect new and different things from us, because I've evolved a lot as a promoter and as a wrestler, working on teaching that to everybody that we have on the roster. I got that coming up. I got Lucha Project coming up, which is another awesome Utah-based show. I got STF Wrestling, another Utah show coming up. I'm working on some more stuff with getting back onto GCW. Working on some bigger promotions out in Iowa, St. Louis, Chicago area, so I can go out there and just kind of do a big loop. But yeah, I got a lot of stuff hopefully working up and coming up in the next little bit after I get over this freaking cold.
Yeah. But yeah, like I was saying before we went on the air, I've had a number of Utah folks on the show, and like I was saying, you guys have a great scene out there. I've had Jagger Lane, I've had Sterling Silvers,
Oh yeah,
I've
Sterling's
had Marty Casals. And he was amazing. He was such an entertaining guy.
oh yeah, Marty's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, we sort of did this show tonight as just kind of a special thing. We're officially on hiatus until the week of January 6th. But like I was telling you, we're working on some pretty cool stuff that will be rolling out in the new year. So definitely, everybody keep a close eye on my socials.
Oh yeah.
So before we wrap this up, is there anything else you'd like to share, or any other little tales you'd like to relate?
No, I mean, hey, if you're a wrestler looking to get better, or you're somebody looking to get into this business, Black and Brave Wrestling Academy is the place to be. It is a great training center, a great gym, just great people all around that are there to help you get better and there to help. I just can't recommend that school enough. And the people and the CrossFit trainers and I can't recommend everything they do enough. It was absolutely an incredible experience and something that I don't think that you'll get anywhere else. Because I've talked to people that have gone to other schools and it's not the same experience that I had. So I would definitely recommend going there. Other than that, if you're a promoter, hit me up. I am open, willing to travel anywhere, willing to train, do anything you guys need me to do. So I'm definitely down to just kind of go wherever, do whatever, wrestle whoever. I don't care.
Gotcha. Well, one final thing I'll bring up, from the interviews and everything I have seen with him, Rollins seems like a really down to earth guy. He seems like when he's out of the ring and kind of away from the spotlight, he's just Colby Lopez.
Yep.
So, is that pretty accurate?
It's accurate, but he definitely can get pretty intense during training sessions and during workout.
Well, that's good though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's exactly what that school is exactly what you want it to be.
Gotcha.
And I think that's the biggest praise I can put on it. It is exactly it's the exact experience that you want out of it.
Gotcha. Well, that's definitely high praise, and it definitely sounds like if like you said, if you're trying to make a career in wrestling, that's really the place to go.
Yeah, just make sure you're somewhat in shape when you go, because it will beat your ass.
Yeah, I can only imagine, because I've never done it, but I know enough about CrossFit to know that that's no joke.
Not at all. It is no joke.
But
it's definitely something that you learn to love. Because now I'm back home in Utah and I'm looking for a CrossFit gym to go train at, because I just really enjoy the workouts and like the competition aspect of it.
Gotcha. So, were you and your classmates sort of in a friendly way? Was there some low key competition between y'all?
Yeah, there definitely was. Especially me and Drake. Me and Drake would compete a lot in the CrossFits, trying to see who could get the best time or just who could put up the most amount of rounds when we're doing round stuff. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of friendly competition.
So in terms of what you learned in CrossFit, do you have a favorite? I know they have the workout of the day, the WOD. I don't know if they're still doing that, because it's been a while since I've really taken a look at CrossFit. But do you have a favorite CrossFit workout that you just really enjoyed?
none that I can remember off the top of my head, but anything where it's like a set amount of rounds or in as many rounds as possible, those are fun. I like doing those, really seeing how fast and hard I can push my body. My least favorite was Karen. Karen's terrible. It's the
What's
worst.
Karen?
It's just you throw a 20 to 35-pound wall ball at a target that's probably 10 feet. You catch it, do a squat, back up, like I think it was 150 times.
Oh, good Lord.
So that was a lot. There was one day where we did 1,000 box step ups. That sucked. The 100-day was rough. That's what you just do 100 like bench press, squats, shoulder press, deadlifts. It's just with the bar, but it's just 100 reps of everything is brutal. But it's all designed to make you better, you know. Everything there is designed to make you better.
Well, I bet you came home in the condition of your life.
Yeah, you know, I'm in great shape right now. I'm in a really good place mentally right now with wrestling and stuff like that. So it's definitely a great experience for me.
Awesome. Well, Trey, I want to thank you for your time and for taking time away from the family time you've got going in Idaho right now. I mean, that means a lot that you were willing to take the time to do this.
Oh,
and
anytime.
And thank your wife for letting me take you away for a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you want me on the show, panels or whatever, just let me know. I'm always down.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I may reach out to you and kind of bring you up to speed on what we've got going with that. But anyway, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. For those of you that'll be seeing this in replays and clips on the web, thank you for that. If you like what we've got going here, continue to spread the word. This thing is continuing to roll right along. I've got like I said, a ton of stuff coming in. 2025 is going to be exciting. And definitely have a lot of stuff coming up, and it's going to be fun. So definitely keep an eye on my socials, and we'll just wrap this up by saying Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, love each other, be good to each other, and keep throwing down.